let's say you want to actually do some fluid simulation. So I showed you how to do the ocean, how to do waves, the dynamic paint, which is kind of like, fake simulations. Well, let's actually do some real simulations. So the easiest way to do this is we have the cube selected. We're going to go to Object, and we're going to go down to Quick Effects. So here it is, Quick Effects, and we're going to just do Quick Liquid. I'm going to click on it, and there we go. So if I hit play, this is a liquid. So what you're seeing right now is as a bunch of dots. And the reason why it's a bunch of dots is just to speed up the rendering times of the simulation. Now, if I go back here, let's say I want to have like a channel or some collision. So I can do Shift A to mesh, cube, G, SZ. I can rotate a little bit. That looks pretty good. And what I'm going to do next is, here, I'm going to go click on, okay, click here. And we need to go to the physics, or we're going to go to fluid, type, and this is going to be an effector. No, sorry. And what we need to do is collision. So if I hit play now, exit, fluid, effector, play. Yeah, sorry. We have this selected. We're going to click fluid, and I'm going to do as an effector, and we can see the type is as a collision, which is exactly what we want. So that looks pretty good. SX, see solid, play, see wireframe. That's what it looks like. So we have a little issue that it's not actually, going on the cube, the collision we just created. So what we have to do is we're going to have to click here. We're going to scroll all the way down here. And right now it's on replay. Let's change this to 50. And what I want to do is I want to change it to as a, let's see, a modular. Oops, sorry, no, I want as all. There we go. And once you have it as all, we can bake this. I'm going to do bake all. Perfect. And then if I go back here, we can see now the collision is actually taking effect. But it has a bunch of little dots. So let's actually make it look like actual water. So let's go here. Let's go and turn on mesh. Let's free all. And we're going to do bake all. And there we go. See, solid. So now we have water. Now we have a liquid affecting an object. So that's kind of the basics of it. Of course, there's a bunch of different stuff you can do. But real quick, let's go over some of the items. So this is a collision, right? So we have the fluid. It's an effector type. It's a collision. This bounding box, if we actually play it, you see it's like, it's almost in this like box. Well, this is called the domain. And what the domain does is like, you'll only have the liquid simulation, or if you're doing smoke, in that case, in the smoke simulation inside of that box. So within this domain, you'll have that simulation. Now see wireframe. If we go inside here, we have this little cube right here. Well, this is going to be a flow type. So this is where the water is going to be emitting from. And the type is, if you can see it, is as geometry. Now, geometry, it's like the entire, imagine the entire box, the cube we have selected, it's filled with water. And then when you actually start the simulation, it just drops. That's what the geometry does. But we can also change this to be inflow and outflow. So inflow is a faucet, outflow is a sink. So we can do a lot of cool stuff, but that's kind of like the overview of like the three different types. We have the flow type of like inflow, outflow, geometry. We have the domain, which is like where the simulation should come from. And then we have the collisions that we want. So let's click on the domain. And what's very interesting is the actual simulation is the domain. So like adding materials to this, you have to do it as the domain. So I have the domain selected. Let's go to shading. And we can see that it already applied the water material. That's why I absolutely love the quick effects, because it's really quick and easy to apply it. Now we have the water here, but we're seeing it's not actually, going through it. Well, that's because we're in Eevee, and Eevee does some hacks, but we can actually fix that. So if we check screen space reflections, do refraction, we should see it a bit better. Let's go into render view. Guess not. Let's go to solid view. Cool. Let's go to material preview mode. Okay. And we can see that it looks pretty decent, but let's say we want to increase the resolution of this. So we're going to go back to our physics properties. We want to do free all. So it frees the simulation. You have the start and end. And now let's go into this. So here is the resolution division. So let's double it. Let's say 60. We're going to bake all. You can see it's actually going to take longer, but by increasing the resolution, it'll increase the resolution of the water. Yeah, it's taking a lot longer. So you want to be careful with the resolution because it's possible you could break the simulation if it's too high. Let's do this. So say it's almost there. There we go. That looks really good. So you can see the water's going everywhere. So you can see it almost acts differently because we have it as a higher resolution.